Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zock Gaming Podcast, episode I think 7. I am Jay Dubious, your host, and joining me as always is Josh from Missouri
Hi.
and Donovan of No Clip Gaming.
Hey everybody.
So I think we have some. I think this is gonna be a pretty decent episode. There's a lot of news, this last week. But we're gonna start off today's episode with the "What have we been playing lately" segment, as always. What have you been playing lately, Josh?
Still into Skyrim, so nothing new there. Still the MOBA thing every now and again.
Fusro Don motherfuckers.
Yell at dragons, man. I did start playing Team Fortress 2 again. I stopped playing that ages ago, even before the Man vs. Machine update. So I've been playing that and getting back into the groove of that.
Yeah, I'm about to download the PC version and try and hop in on that myself.
I always laugh when I hear
really
people
fun.
say the PC version of Team Fortress 2 because the Xbox version is a fucking joke.
That's
I-
the only version I've ever played, actually, is the
I
Xbox.
pretty much like to
Xbox.
believe that there is only one version and they never made a console port.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh because they're not even the same fucking game.
Well, and the console version is just deserted. There's no one in those servers
Well,
anymore.
it's because it has no support. I played it on console first. I'd rented the Orange Box ages ago. A friend of mine's like, no, God, no, you have to come over and play on my computer.
I mean, it's
Like,
basically
my God,
the
this isn't
vanilla
even
version, right?
I'm like, my God, this isn't even the same game. This game is amazing.
Yeah, like seriously, I'm not even kidding. 100% serious. I made my Steam account to buy Team Fortress 2.
I actually made
Yo.
mine to buy Half-Life 2, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but I'm in full support of that. It's funny, a lot of the time when I'm playing Dota with kids, if we have some downtime in between games, we'll end up just playing some Team Fortress 2. Oh my God, so good. So much rage sometimes. But it's retarded. I've
What's your
said
guys'
Dota
favorite
is...
class?
Oh, heavy. It's so unfair. It's not even close.
What's
It's
yours,
so bad.
Josh?
I pretty much equally play heavy medic and soldier.
I like the Scout.
I like Scout, but I'm so bad with him.
And I also like playing as... The Spy is really cool, too. I got pretty good at playing as the Scout and the Spy. Those are probably my go-to ones. But this is all on the Xbox version, so it probably doesn't mean a thing to all the PC versions.
Yes.
If you download the proper version, I'm not even gonna call it the PC version. It's the proper version.
Yeah, if you download the game.
You're going to shit your pants at all the items and stuff.
Well, maybe we can play later or something, if you're on.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much why I play heavy and demo almost exclusively. Is I enjoy playing the classes that can fight 2 or 3 people on their own, just really without a problem. Like the Scottish Resistance on the demo is, oh man, so funny in any sort of point-based game. Like the Scottish Resistance is just wildly imbalanced. You've never played it, the PC version, so I'll explain it to you, Jay. The Scottish Resistance is a sticky bomb launcher for the demo that lets you see sticky bombs and detonate them through walls. So it's really convenient because you'll just place them around the cart or the capture point, and then if you see it move or the enemy's picked up the intelligence, you can just detonate it from spawn.
Or
And then just run back and play some more, and then just go
The
wait.
other nice thing is
It's pretty ridiculous.
The other nice thing is that you don't have to detonate them all at once. You can detonate
Parts of
sections
them.
sticky bombs.
Whatever
So
you
you can have multiple choke points set up and only detonate, this set of sticky bombs instead of detonating all of them. Have to replace it every time.
Yeah, the Scottish Resistance is amazing. It makes the demo so good.
Heavy always is fun to play just because you get to swing around the skill hose.
Well, I mean, it's really funny. I've played all of the heavy machine guns, and I have to say, far and away, my favorut one is the standard. I mean, I don't use it.
default's really
I
good.
use the Iron Curtain, obviously, from Night at the Inventory 1 Poker Night. But it's really the best gun. Like, it's got really solid spin-up time, and it's got really good damage.
Yeah, I tend to stick to that one. I mean, I did use the Thomas Law back when it was super broken, but they nerfed it pretty quickly.
Those
Yeah,
damn
I mean-
nerfers.
Well, the Tomislav is a minigun with fast spin-up time and no spin-up sound, so it kind of needed the nerf.
Oh, it did, because it used to be like, what, 70% faster spin-up time? And it was
Yeah,
pretty much
I'm-
instant. You pretty much had no spin-up time. You would just immediately start shooting.
Yeah,
and the
you
only
were-
downside was minus 15% firing speed, something real tiny.
Yeah, and I mean, with no spin-up sound either, it was so ridiculous. You were like secret agent heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
It made no sense.
It definitely did need to be nerfed, but
Yeah, dude, the gloves of running urgently, sandwich, and Iron Curtain is my go-to loadout.
I always loved the boxing gloves.
Dude, it's so funny. You just get to the capture point first, drop your sandwich, and just kill everybody.
Wait, there's loadouts on the PC
Yeah.
version?
Yeah, there's
You don't
hundreds
just pick your
and hundreds and hundreds of items, and it's
Yeah,
not
well,
just hats. It's items that change your stats. Yeah, the joke is just hats because that's all anyone cares about.
Yeah, hats are basically when they introduced hats, Team Fortress 2 stopped being a first-person shooter so much it was a war-themed hat simulator.
hat sim.
But no, I mean really, yeah, there are hundreds of items in the game, and they all change the way your character plays a little bit. They've done a pretty good job of making them balanced.
Yeah,
it
doesn't feel too bad.
Like playing with the defaults.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everything about TF2 I'm just such a huge fan of, especially all the stuff they've done with the PC work. Like, you can really make your loadout your own. It's not, you don't have to play any sort of style. That's why I like my heavy loadout, is it's really fast moving, it's really high damage, you can get to the point that you need to, and that's pretty much all you have to do with it. I like it quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to hop on Steam after we're done talking and just finally get my hands on the free-to-play version, because I didn't even know it was free-to-play until I think we talked last podcast or something like that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's been free to play for such a long time too, and everything about it's great. Valve has free to play down. They really do, because anything you can get in crates and stuff with keys, things like that, you can earn by just playing. So.
Yeah, and I mean with Dota 2 also now, it seems like Valve has really just quartered the entire free to play market.
Yeah, with a mighty grip, right for the throat.
Welcome back to the Zock Gaming Podcast. Sorry about the technical difficulties. And let's just go segue right into what have you been playing lately, Donovan?
And that is nothing. Because the past weekend, the past like 4 or 5 days has been the placement matches for the International Threes, which, since I know Jay has absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, it is the World Championship of Dota 2. The World Finals, guys.
MOBAs.
Even if you don't care about Dota, it's impressive because it has a $2.8 million prize pool.
Yeah, I know we were talking about the compendium. It was either last episode or a few episodes ago, but all the money that was going from that got prize pooled, and they actually made it up to 2.8. The final stretch goal was 3, and I think it's still applicable until the end of the tournament. We'll see. But there was a 1v1 tournament that was earned, and just, oh man, so much stuff. It's been great to watch.
Was it like a Kickstarter?
No, not really. The way that the compendium worked is it was an item in game that if you bought it, the money went into the prize pool. And the way that they did it was if enough money got put into the prize pool, people would earn more stuff with the compendium. So like right now, if you were to download Dota 2 and then open it up and buy a compendium, right?
Yeah.
You would get a custom HUD skin. You would get a courier that has unlockable upgrades and particle effects. You would get a 6-item set of taunts. You would get a item that gives you one of 7 immortal items, I think, which immortal items in Dota are ones that come with like custom unique particle effects and things like that. And then there was also the 1v1 tournament.
So how much was this compendium?
$10, and it's also besides just giving you items, right? It's an interactive digital book, so it's got stats on all the teams in the tournaments. You can make fantasy teams, which actually earn you points. And at the end of the tournament, depending on how many points you got, people are going to earn items with their fantasy points. It's got player profiles. It's got tons of stuff in it. It's a cool thing on its own, even without all the ridiculous amount of bonus items. Oh, and an EXP boost. It's an EXP boost through the tournament. And like I got mine a month and a half ago. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man, Valve seems to be doing that free to play just right.
Well, they do it perfectly. They are the best free to play. I mean, it was right for a while, but Valve's just, Valve, so everything they do is amazing.
Just takes them forever to do it.
I remember I got in an argument with one of my friends one time because I told him to give me an example of something that Valve did just really badly, and he told me Left 4 Dead 2. And
I was going to say Blue Shift.
Well, even that's debatable. I mean, the problem for me with his argument was if you look at Left 4 Dead 2, right? I mean, yeah, it's pretty much just an expansion for Left 4 Dead, but why is that bad?
I think probably what he was getting at was the fact they charged full retail price for it. That
I
was
guess
probably
that's.
really the only thing he was getting at.
But see, even there, and this could just be me, the fact that it included, an additional map set, but also the original map set, I mean, I really didn't feel like I was getting robbed or anything.
That's true. I'm a little on the fence about that one just because it did come out so quickly after the first one, and
That
it was full
seriously
retail
bothered
price.
me, and that's why I didn't buy it, because it came
Yeah.
out like
A,
9 months after I bought the fucking
yeah.
first one.
A lot of people were accusing Valve of cash grabbing, which I mean they did put a lot of work into it. I think really what it was supposed to be an expansion, and they realized we put enough in here. I think it warrants its own game. So I think that's partially it.
Yeah,
And they did change out the characters, too.
Yeah,
that's
they did.
fair. I mean, all that's neither here nor there, though. I mean, the point is the internationals is going on.
Dota.
It's awesome, and that is literally all I've been doing. And I mean, I know it's just the qualifiers to find where everyone places, but I mean, even the qualifying rounds have been absolutely ridiculous. Some of the matches.
So when
have
does
been crazy.
when does the actual like true tournament start?
I believe the actual tournament starts this Friday. It goes through the weekend, and actually, something kind of cool worth mentioning too is Valve is doing this promotional thing right now called Pub Stomps. And what it is on Sunday the 11th, which is when the grand finals are going to be, right? Valve has teamed up with bars in local areas, and they're sending them equipment to like stream the tournament and things like that. But they're also selling them like actual licensed Valve swag to give out and prizes and things like that. And I'm super stoked.
into that.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked because there's actually one in Denver, which means that we're gonna get to go.
That we're going.
Drink
That-
specials and video games and Valve swag. I can.
That would be
already-
really cool.
Yeah, like to actually just sit there and grab a beer while watching the World Championships of Dota. Because that's the other thing too is, I mean, I'm sure you've never watched competitive Dota, but competitive Dota is fairly high action compared to most esports. I mean, the laning phase is not, but the team fights are just ridiculous.
The main problem is going to be is people who aren't familiar with gaming be like, wait, who's that guy? What's he do? Why are they running out of the jungle? What are they doing?
But see, I don't
Okay,
think
what
that's
just
even
happened?
gonna.
Two of them just died. What just happened?
I don't even necessarily know if that's going to happen because, I mean, the volume's going to be up. People will be able to hear the casters. But also, I think the people who don't know Dota are kind of just going to get drunk and watch video games.
That too. I mean, it is something. Sometimes you don't really need to know what's going on. You watch, dude, that guy just dropped a big ass spell, and that dude blew the fuck up.
Yeah, dude, that and they're hunting for the Valve goodies, the rare Valve
Swag.
goodies.
Yeah, so what do we got to do? Go in the bathroom and blow some dude for that swag or what?
Yeah, right. I have no idea. I'm hoping it's gonna be like a trivia contest or some shit, something that I will easily dominate with my mighty hefty nerddom.
There's gonna be one dude there that like is answering all the questions you want to, and you're just gonna be deathlocked with him. You're like, you bitch.
Oh, dude, it'll be game on. That actually happened at a Denver Comic-Con with one of my friends at a Star Wars trivia contest. Except he's like, a 40-year-old neckbeard Star Wars monster. And he was up against a like 14-year-old girl that actually ended up beating him. She was really cool and fairly graceful in ending the Rancor, so.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for the pub stomp. And I mean,
it'd have been so hard to be that guy, not to be like, you weren't even alive when the movies were good.
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
How
was
do
it all
you
like-
know this?
Was it all
Like,
new trilogy trivia or what?
no, it was Saga and Extended Universe.
Okay. So you had to read the books too.
Yeah, yeah, and he still lost. It was a tragedy.
Man.
Wow. Good
I'd say
on
I know
her.
Star Trek pretty well, but I don't know the books.
Yeah, right, dude. Like that's something beyond me. Like
That's
I'm pretty nerdy about most video game lore, but anything with like an extended universe that's canon, I can't really touch. Nope.
Pass.
Not
Yeah,
for
but
me.
The international's been really, really cool so far. I like seeing we're seeing mostly standard team comps. I mean, there's been some wild picks here and there. I'm really hoping that as we get into the tournaments, the team's going to be really pulling out the big guns and showing off like the strategies and stuff that they've been kind of keeping secrets. So I hope we see some really just off the wall picks and off the wall strategies.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm a Navi fanboy, and Navi ended up finishing in the top of Group A. I think they went 11-3 is what it was.
Navi was beasting everybody.
Yeah, well, their first two games they got swept too. I'm trying to remember who they were against. I want to say it was Alliance or Zenith. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. but they got swept their first series. It was no good. But then they ended up doing really, really good. I can't remember which team, but one of the teams in the B stage, I'm pretty sure, didn't win a single game. But it's been pretty tough, so it'll be fun to at least watch the winners bracket. Though I'm sure the losers bracket is going to be pretty good too. I actually think Mao's Esports ended up placing in the losers bracket, if I'm not wrong. Like, they ended up not doing too good, or at least they weren't the first 2 days. I didn't actually see them in the last two. I was only watching the Navi games. But it'll be really interesting to see with the actual tournament going on.
I'd like to think you have some of those like clacker things that say Navi on them.
Navi, where's the dandy butch pick? Where is it? That was the only bummer about the solo mid tournament, is there was not a single Pudge game.
Oh, Pudge would be amazing.
At least not one that I saw.
Left and right.
At least not one that I saw. Also, the Axe vs. Axe game was pretty hilarious.
I did hear about that. A friend of mine told me that. He's like, yeah, just spin to win. Just spin to win.
Just so many battle hungers and creep diving and just like, oh my god, Axe is so ridiculous.
Spinning everywhere.
My Axe hungers! Like,
oh, that would have been the goofiest game.
Yeah, it's been great. And I don't know if I've explained this to you either, Jay, because more of how Valve does free-to-play, actually free-to-play. Yeah. If you buy a ticket to watch a tournament, right, and you're watching the tournament, you have a % chance to just win prizes while watching. And I'm talking about like a pretty ridiculously small, like I'm guessing less than a % chance, you know what I mean? But just that alone, because all of the items are super rare items. You won't ever get commons or anything like that. You'll get like a super rare item that shows what game it happened in and when it happened. So it'll be like, this item was awarded to the player for witnessing this double kill in this game, and things like that.
Oh, crazy! Is this more of those like cards that they're doing with Steam?
No, it's not cards or anything. You'll just get the item in your inventory sometime.
Oh,
it's a
cool.
super rare chance, but you can win awesome mythical items just by spectating games. And
yeah, it's because of the fact that in Dota 2, the client, they have a pretty robust spectator client.
It's awesome. It shows live graphs and everything.
I really like during the tournament that a lot of those little like I mean the professional production of this tournament is amazing.
Oh,
those have little stats pops like this champion when paired with this hero when paired with this hero on the same team has a 65% win rate. However,
I saw that.
It's 30%.
I remember that.
Sorts of stuff like that.
The one you're talking about was when they flashed Obsidian Destroyer and Treant Protector have a 74% win rate in this tournament.
There was another one that was I want to say Chaos Knight and Wisp.
Chaos Knight Wisp is really brutal. Some of those stats are awesome though.
Yeah, it's really cool. Ursa had a 5-0 win streak in tournament for a while.
Yeah, seeing Ursa play too.
Seeing Ursa played, and then he went 5-0 for a while. He won every game he was in. He won for 5 games. I don't know if it finally got broken or if he ended with a 5-0 streak. It's like, wow, Ursa winning games.
Someone picking Ursa and then crushing. Well, Ursa Wisp is so good. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, those facts is really cool. That just really adds another level of the production value, just skyrockets.
Yeah, far and away, I have not been playing video games this week, is the point I'm trying to make. I've just been watching tons and tons and tons of Dota.
A lot of live streaming. So I guess that leads up to me then. What have I been playing lately?
What about you, Jay? What games have you been playing, Mr. Man?
I think this one will get Josh a little bit excited. I've been playing through King of Dragons a few times.
Oh, my favorite beat 'em up.
It's pretty good. Yeah, so if nobody knows, it's I would say it's uncommon to rare game made by Capcom in the late Super Nintendo cycle. And it's unique because it's a beat 'em up that has like really like fantasy themed RPG JRPG elements to it.
It's very D&D in its presentation.
Well, and Capcom made those D&D arcade games back in the day. I think it's almost like a relative of that without having the D&D name on it.
Probably
Steam made a port of that game, just so you know, the one you're talking about, like the
Shadows over Mystara.
Yeah, there's a Steam port
on Xbox Live as well, and that game is really good. And if anybody hasn't played it, you should go get it.
Yeah, it's like $10.
Those were released this summer, weren't they? I remember them being announced back in the spring.
Yeah, it was not that long ago.
And I think if I remember correctly, this is the first time they've been seen ever on a console, or did they release on like the Sega Saturn or something weird?
I think it's the first time ever on a console. There might have been one of the D&D arcade games. That was in like maybe one of those collection anthologies. I don't know, but this is definitely the first time Shadows over Mystara has been on console. I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty rad. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And it's supposed to be really similar to King of Dragons, from what I understand.
King of Dragons is
It
way more
translates really well
straightforward.
too. Surprisingly, like there's no real translation issues, or like it's aged fine. The sprites look awesome.
Oh yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons game has a lot more depth just because they were just more ambitious as an arcade project. There's a lot of branching paths, hidden items. There's Street Fighter motions on a couple characters.
And you block using Street Fighter style, where you hit back to block.
There is you can do that, but there also is one of the items, like if you're a character with a shield, one of the items you can like rotate to and use is your guard. So you can press your use item button to block that way too.
Yeah, I saw you could reconfigure the controls so you can actually manually block instead of having to hit back.
Oh, in King of Dragons, I definitely always recommend putting on manual block.
Yeah, I didn't realize that setting was there for like the first couple run-throughs I did of it, but then I found it
Yeah.
once I got to playing as the dwarf, but the dwarf kind of sucks.
The only thing good about the dwarf is it can hit the slimes without them having to jump.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. That's pretty
The
convenient.
wizard can do that too, depending on which weapon it hits you have at the time.
The wizard.
The wizard.
Yeah, there's 5 different classes in the game. There's 5 different classes. There's what is it? The wizard, the fighter, the cleric, the dwarf, and the elf.
I love that 3 of them are classes and 2 of them are races.
Same thing.
What class are you? Elf. Okay. What class are you? Elf. Moving on.
What race are you? Mage.
Archer.
I'm a mage. Oh man! So and then right before the podcast, I actually just did a playthrough of Felix the Cat for the NES.
Oh, licensed games.
It's pretty good. It's really uncommon. It's worth about $45 right now, which is pretty good.
For an NES game, it's fairly uncommon.
Well, NES games are skyrocketing like none other. Like everything prior to the N64 in terms of value has just been, especially here in 2013, like the values of games have just shot up so immensely. It's just mind-bending. Like games that used to cost $2 last year are now like $7.
It's still really funny to think about that Sunset Riders is worth like $50. Because anyone I ever show that game to is like, what the fuck is Sunset Riders?
It's Contra with Cowboys.
Yeah, Contra with Cowboys.
It's pretty good though.
How much would Wild Guns be worth?
Wild Guns I think is worth quite a bit. I don't know the number offhand, but I think
that game was pretty weird for an SNES game the way it controlled.
I was looking at a rarity guide the other day at one of the rarest games for the SNES, and turns out I actually own the 5th rarest game. It's Super 3D Noah's Ark.
I was like, I remember that when you showed me that. You have to piggyback another game on it.
Yeah, so you can get past the what was it, like a region locking or something like that was the problem.
I thought it had to boot part of the OS, or had to boot part of the BIOS from the other game because it wasn't a licensed Nintendo game or anything.
It was
like that.
super unlicensed, and it's funny because it's a religious game made from a fucking Wolfenstein 3D hack.
Yeah, it's Wolfenstein 3D where you feed angry animals until they go to sleep.
It's
The game was horrible.
it was, I mean, when your mom's all Christian and shit and doesn't want to buy you fucking Doom, it's about the next best thing.
I never understood why religious people were against Doom. You kill demons and stuff.
It has strong religious morals.
Exactly. You go to the pits of hell to teach those demons a lesson. And in Wolfenstein, you shoot Nazis. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that's cool.
I still always laugh whenever I see that the game that was rated, or at least when I did a report on it in high school, the game rated the most violent video game of all time was Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh,
Seriously?
You shoot Mecha Hitler. I mean, come on.
It's pretty brutal if you think about it.
I suppose so.
You know what was
Beep,
brutal?
boop,
Nazis
Rise
are
of
real.
the fucking
Feminism.
Triad, dude.
There is a new Rise of the Triad.
I saw that. Have you played it yet or seen it? I was meaning to look up
I-
something about it the other day.
No, I haven't tried it yet, but I really, really want to get it.
Yeah, dude, I loved that first one, dude, with the eyeballs flying out when you shoot a guy in the face.
Oh, ludicrous jibs.
Dude, yeah, and you can turn into a dog.
Dog mode. You bark
Dog
at
mode
people and they
was sick.
explode.
That
Yeah,
sounds
dude.
ridiculous.
You never heard of
Absolutely
Rise of the Triad?
ridiculous.
If you
No.
haven't played Rise of the
Oh.
Triad, that is the fucking old school shooter to go check out. Like
Is
it
that the
came out,
bee's knees?
It came out around the same time as Wolfenstein 3D Doom and like Doom 2. Blows them all out of the water in my opinion.
So
I
good.
fucking love it. It's just so over the top.
It was pretty much the game that coined the term ludicrous jibs. And there's a power up that turns you into God mode. You just like shoot your hand at people. And
Yeah,
explode.
you have like the hand of God and they just melt.
Yeah. And then you have dog mode where you turn into a dog and you bark supersonically at people and they explode.
Well, that's what most dogs do. So
Ever.
that's no surprise.
That's what my Chihuahua does.
That game was so ridiculous. It didn't care about anything and it was so much fun.
So the other game I've been playing lately is back to MOBAs, I guess. League of Legends.
League of Legends. You know, it's kind of funny.
MOBA Power Hour.
Yeah, dude. I played League for the first time in a few months today, and I have to say, playing Dota has last hitting's a lot easier when you only have to last hit half a minion wave. You know, when you're only hitting the enemy's creeps and not your own too, it's pretty easy to time. It's really nice. I swear it's borderline therapeutic.
Oh, it's so relaxing. I can actually get CS.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing Udyr too, so.
Oh, Slappy Hobo?
Oh, so good.
Love me some Slappy Hobo.
So good. Ever since they changed his bleed to physical damage from magical damage, oh my god, so good. Tiger Stance just outpowers everybody. It's
Double
ridiculous.
Tiger Stance also is amazing.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Charge that
don't
shit,
even see
walk
it.
into a bush, slap him, turn around, slap him again.
Well, I just laughed. I was playing a game versus Rengar, and he was pushed to his tower, and so he's farming right. I was standing in the bush with about a quarter health, and I see their jungle Kale come in, and so I'm thinking about running to my tower, because I'm at the bush right outside my tower, you know? And I decide, you know, she's at half health, I'm at a quarter health, but I've got Tiger Stance. And she ends up base checking the bush. She doesn't try to, like, kite towards the tower before running in to see if I'm in there or anything. She just goes straight into the bush. And, you know, I two-shot her and get a free blue buff. And it's just like, people don't understand the dangers of face-checking tigers. And I don't understand, because, I mean, think about that. There's a tiger in that bush. Are you just going to run into it?
Well, there might be a tiger in that bush. That's enough of a warning.
There might be a tiger. Could be a bear. Could be a phoenix. Or turtle. Admittingly, turtle's not too scary. But
turtles bite pretty hard.
You know. Bear and tiger, that's not something I want to accidentally run into. It's just me, I guess.
So, did you guys see they said that there's a new EverQuest in development called EverQuest Next?
No one cares.
Yeah. Man, you know as well as I am. I used to love EverQuest 1, and then EverQuest 2 happened.
Bunch of
and
nerds.
All that goodwill vanished.
I didn't think EverQuest 2 was that bad. I played to, I think, level 51 in it, and then the PvP got a little bit too much for me to keep playing. But I went back and I've played kind of recently, and they had that creepy face tracking, which is fucking the coolest thing ever.
That thing is, yes, that's amazing. I will give EverQuest 2 a buy. That face tracking thing that needs to be in every game.
It's so awesome. I love that, like, when you actually talk, like, over your microphone, it has you talking in-game.
I like how your character never closes their mouth. Because it always thinks your mouth is open. Your mouth can be completely closed. Your character's sitting there.
And it tracks your eyebrows too, so you can have like your brow moving around. Like if you're an ogre, you can move like that fucking huge ass like forehead of his around and stuff. It's pretty cool, dude.
Slap a rock on his face.
Dude, I don't know. I'm actually pretty optimistic about the next EverQuest. I've seen a few videos. It's gonna have fully destructible environments in an MMO. I think that's kind of cool, personally.
It's definitely something I've never seen before. I mean, that's for sure.
Have you seen any of the footage of it yet, Donovan?
No, I haven't. To be fair, I'm one of those guys. I've played way too many MOBAs before, and a lot of them before they went free to play. Like I paid for Terra, I paid for Rift. You know.
Do you mean MMORPGs? I think you said MOBAs.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I said MMO.
You said MOBAs.
I think you said MOBAs.
Oh man, I'm the worst ever. Yeah, no, MMO, multiplayer online RPGs.
Me and Josh have played our fair share too. I think what we've done, Age of Camelot or whatever, that one.
I did EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, Star Wars Galaxy, City of Heroes, World of Warcraft, of course. I've tried Terra. I've tried several freebie Korean ones.
There's so many.
Yeah, they're all in the same category. I've tried at least probably 4 of those.
But yeah, the only one I've been
2.
following is WildStar. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about
I
that.
haven't heard of that one.
I've heard the name, but I don't think I ever looked into it.
I really, really think you guys should look into it, especially as people who have played a bunch of MMOs. The thing that makes me really excited about MMO, or about WildStar as an MMO, is it's a game where the writing seems really, really good, but it's not going for that whole overly epic feel, or at least nothing they've showed. It's being produced by NCSoft, right? And it's seriously, oh my god, I wish I had a way to describe it. It's a like steampunk sci-fi sort of MMO, right? But it's like a cartoon, in the good way, not the bad way, like the really good way. It's super colorful. Everyone's hyper characteristic. Like, oh, I'm so excited for WildStar. I can't even describe.
I really want to play a cowboy MMO. That's what I want.
See, if they made a good cowboy MMO, that's something that I think I would play. I mean, I love everything about cowboys. I mean, Tombstone, dude. Is there a better movie?
Dude, Tombstone's pretty good. That's one of my favorite movies, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah, or like a few dollars more. Oh man, great westerns.
And I think that westerns are a genre that are not visited enough in video games. Like the Red Dead series is really the only one I can think of offhand that's a cowboy series. I mean, there's not a whole
there's
lot.
Gun, there's Wild Arms.
Wild Arms, that's getting a little old school.
Yeah, but well, that's not entirely true. That franchise was alive through the PS2, and the PS2 isn't even technically.
Oh, was it?
Yet.
I only know the Super Nintendo one actually.
Yeah, Wild Arms 3 was a PS2 title. But I mean, I agree. If there was a cowboy
they actually
MMO,
had Dude, that's what I want. I want the cowboy MMO.
I would get dick deep in that. I mean, metaphorically speaking, not physically. That's gross and icky, and plastic is uncomfortable.
Cowboys have lots of STDs.
Yeehaw, girl!
You said that with quite a bit of confidence.
Oh, dude, I know. I live by Wyoming.
Yay.
Touche, sir. Well played.
So have they shown much of EverQuest 2 itself, or EverQuest Next itself?
EverQuest Next.
What the gameplay is going to be like? I mean, are they going to go standard EverQuest fare, or are they trying to...
I think they mostly just showed engine videos, basically.
I see.
But the video I saw, they had this gigantic, like troll rock monster thing that's like the size of like a 3-story castle or something like that. And he's just like walking through the forest, and like the trees are getting destroyed as he walks through them, and then just like takes out like a chunk of this building. So I think it could like lead to some pretty nuts encounters. Like if you have a raid boss or something like that, and you have to like run away, but he's just like ripping apart the building as you're going through.
That could be cool. Destructible environments always make things more interesting. That could be really interesting for PvP too. Like imagine if they made keeps or castles, and you could keep raids. You could have catapults that actually blow part of the castle.
Oh man, dude, with PvP. Oh my god, destructible environments plus PvP plus MMO, day one buy.
That would be pretty astounding.
And they're saying it's going to be free to play also. That's one thing they did say about EverQuest Next is that it will be free to play.
Yeah, I mean I think that's just going to be the norm from now on. I mean, World of Warcraft is probably the last big MMO that can afford to charge.
And they're losing people like crazy.
Well,
and
even
the game
then
is
too,
really old.
they still do a partially free-to-play model too. So
Yeah, can't you go to
do-
40 for free or something?
I think it's 20 or some shit.
In my mind, that's more of like an unlimited trial, not really free to play.
It'd be funny if you made like a level 20 raid guild. You just free to play people.
I'd do it, dude. That sounds like a fun use of a weekend.
Or a waste of a weekend.
Whatever, potato.
So it was announced a little bit earlier today that there is one of the multiplayer levels in the new Smash Brothers for the Wii U is going to be a Pilot Wings themed level.
Calling it right now, airplane character. Come at me.
Yeah, I'm hoping they have like the little guy from Pilot Wings show up as a new playable character, because I'm sure they haven't shown all the new playable characters yet. There's no way they could have.
Not. I mean, yeah, really, they've only released what 3? Mega Man, Wii Fit Trainer, and Animal Crossing dude.
Yep. Only one that matters is Villager. Don't even care.
I love how the internet latched onto the Villager now. He's a completely bloodthirsty psychopath.
Yeah, what I want to see is this guy, the Pilot Wings guy.
Oh, Pilot Wing 64.
It's a classic.
What would his like, attacks be? You know, try awkwardly to land on somebody.
Yeah, like he like hops like his beat up attack is like a hang glider or something to help you get back on the platform.
His smash ball would be everybody else has to play like a round of Pilot Wings, and if you don't succeed, which you probably won't, you die.
Because you never succeed with Pilot Wings,
That game's
especially
so
the Super
hard.
Nintendo version.
It's so hard.
That has to be one of the most unforgiving games I've ever played.
And it lulls you in such a false sense of security. Like when you start off, the first few levels are so easy. They have nice big platforms.
It's got the
that don't
easygoing
move.
music playing.
Yeah, you're just like, and then you get far, and it's this tiny little platform that moves, and you're just like, come on, you son of a bitch.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah,
if you want to
angry.
develop a teeth grinding condition, it's a really good game to play.
Dentists love it.
Nobody.
Drums them up some business.
So it was also released recently that one of the major factories for manufacturing part of the Wii U, I believe it's part of its embedded DRAM. The factory that makes the component, they're the only people that make the component, and they just closed down.
I don't think they've closed down yet, but they're planning on closing down.
I think they're about to, yeah.
Yeah, pretty soon. Which
Raggy.
if things were looking bad for the Wii U, I mean, they're looking worse. 'Cause that's not the only bit of bad news about the Wii U. They're gonna have to find a new source or change the architecture completely.
Which will have all kinds of compatibility issues.
Oh
probably.
yeah, and then there's a major European retailer has basically announced they're not going to stock Wii U's anymore across all
think
their
it is
stores in Europe.
two of the retailers, and like another retailer also said that they'd only do it as like an as-needed basis, basically.
Yeah, there's another retailer who already did that, and this is right after the price drop on Wii U. So that didn't
See,
help.
I still kind of want to get one just as an Earthbound machine, but
It's cheaper than getting the cart.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I want to actually call me a nerd, but I want to actually feel it in my hands. I don't really want to ROM it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there definitely is some level of immersion, I guess, attachment.
And it's the best game ever fucking made.
Really?
I
think so.
I think that seems debatable. I definitely think you could say it's one of the best games ever made.
And
pretty handedly.
In my opinion, okay, and then I guess I'll say it's my favorite game ever made.
There you go. There you go. I can't argue that.
And-
I could call
and
you
it's the
stupid, but there's no argument there.
And it's the best.
It's the best.
Sorry,
but, I mean,
bro.
things were looking bad for Nintendo, and they're just looking worse and worse and worse.
Well, you know what? They could always just come from out of the blue and just say, you know what, Mother 4.
That would be a pretty good
that would
surprise.
help. I mean, really, what the main problem with the Wii U right now, I think, is just the games, and they don't really have enough to hook people into buying them.
I think this year they're gonna have a lot of success, considering they're coming out with a lot of their more major franchises.
They got to do something because right now they're failing hard.
I tell you
All
what, though,
their
Wind Waker
first-party-
HD isn't doing it for me.
Well, all the first-party titles have been huge this year. I mean, I've said it pretty much every single podcast we've talked about Nintendo. And I mean, A Link Between Worlds, I think, is going to be a big hit too, depending on what they end up doing with it.
Yeah, turning into a wall painting, though, isn't enough to sell me a DS, though, unfortunately.
That's true, but I already have a DS, so they don't have to sell me the hardware.
They should just release it on Vita.
There,
just have to convince you
there
not
you
to
go, curveball.
They just have to convince you not to regret your purchase.
You know, if Sony wanted to be real smart and try and sell some Vitas, they should just put a fucking Mario game on there. Just suck Nintendo off to get a Mario game.
That would be the most expensive licensing.
Might actually move some of their consoles.
Well,
Hey,
with the way
man.
Nintendo's going, Sony will probably be buying out Nintendo by the end of this generation.
That's
like
true.
things are looking.
Nintendo might be like, yes, we need the money.
See,
Speaking
I don't wanna...
speaking of company buyouts, apparently Atlas was just bid on, and the new highest bidder is Sega.
That could be interesting.
I don't know if we talked about how Atlas's parent company went bankrupt in a former podcast, but
I'm pretty sure we mentioned it.
back in June that happened. So I don't know. That'd be crazy to see Persona with a Sega logo on it.
I guess it'd probably just be they'd probably keep Atlas around and keep them as a dev house, within their thing. So mostly probably just be say public.
Have them making more shitty Sonic games.
I don't know if anybody could salvage
Persona
Sonic
Sonic crossover. Calling
There
it
you go.
now.
Biggity
There you
bam.
2014.
Sonic's the new Teddy.
Sonic's already animated as shit, so why not? It's only a hop, skip, and a jump from where they are now. Or imagine if Atlas partnered with Square. I mean, or Sega partnered with Square or something, and they made a Final Fantasy Sonic crossover.
Kingdom Hearts Sonic level.
Oh God!
Square recently in an interview.
Do you know how many people would love for that?
I'd play
Square recently said that they're redesigning how their company works, and they're going to be focusing a lot more on iOS garbage rather than like AAA titles.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you know what? I haven't really been a Square fan for a while now, especially after the merger with Enix. They were such good companies separate, but the merger really fucked up everything.
It seems like it stripped everything out of each company that actually gave them an identity. Whenever they merged, they lost the best parts of both companies somehow.
They probably, the way they're set up now, they've been merged for so long, there's no way for them to separate, but man, I would love to see Squaresoft and Enix be separate entities instead of Square Enix.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Because, well, I don't know, what was the last Final Fantasy that came out before it became Square Enix? Wasn't it 10, I believe?
Was that Squaresoft? I'd have to look that up because I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure.
And then after that, they started feeding us all that MMO garbage with Final Fantasy 11, which was fucking terrible.
Yeah, 11 was 14. Bad.
Yeah, 14, the MMO that died after a year, and they had to completely revamp the entire game.
Yep.
Yeah. Even Star Wars Galaxy held on longer than that.
I have to admit, I thought graphically 14 looked appealing, but I just never played it. I mean, if it was like free to play when it relaunches, I might be down to check it out, but I don't know. If it's anything like 11, I can't imagine it being very good. I actually bought 11 the day it came out, and I don't know. I think I quit playing like a month and a half later.
Nope, not doing it, man. Game over. Game over.
Well, yeah, I had I think I had put like 3 days of playtime on a character, and I was like level 7.
That's
some EverQuest.
Yeah, that's some EverQuest 1 bullshit, and I'm not doing that shit again.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah. Speaking of iOS games and whatnot, that actually reminds me of something I heard. Breath of Fire 6 got announced, and people are pretty pissed off about that because it's going to be like a browser-based iOS thing instead of a proper Breath of Fire.
Fuck up an IP. I was never the biggest Breath of Fire fan. I played what was it? I think it was Breath of Fire 3 was on the PS1. That was or maybe it was 4. Either way, that was a pretty good entry, but I never could really get into the Super Nintendo ones. I remember renting them multiple times because I was like, this is an RPG, this should be good, but it just didn't catch my attention.
I played 1 and 2. I really liked 2, despite its absolutely god-awful translation. But I thought it held together really well as an RPG of that era.
I miss terrible translations.
Oh man, they were so bad.
All your base.
They're working with such limited character space.
Have you guys seen the ending of Ghostbusters for the NES?
Mm-mm.
It says, "Congratulations, you have proved the truth of our." I'm not sure if it says it's like the truth of our society, and that's all it says, and the game just ends. It's like, what the fuck? This is Ghostbusters.
Wow. I beat Ninja Gaiden 1 on cartridge, and it just says, "Thanks for playing. See you next." Not next time, just see you next.
That's a pretty big assumption there, though. Just see you next, like they don't know.
Oh god, yeah, the Ghostbusters one's even worse than I thought. Here's what it says: "Congratulations, you have completed a great game and proved the justice of our culture."
Great game, really.
Now go and rest our heroes.
Justice of our culture. Amazing.
Go and rest our heroes. And then space exclamation point.
That is fantastic.
Someone must have sent them up the bomb.
Well, and that is...
Was that too subtle, Jay? That took you a second to catch.
Yeah, I caught it after a second.
Oh, man.
Dude, yeah, those... Dude, even like the original Castlevania, if you beat the game, it has a pretty bad translation at the end. And it's like, how can you fuck up translating like 4 sentences?
You have Dracula end. Castle is safe. Return to society with love and peace.
It's probably what they do is that, like, they have someone who's like, does anybody here know how to speak English? Kind of. Good, you're translating the whole game to English.
It's the only
Alright,
English they
and
know is
nobody
from
checks.
beer ads and porn.
Yeah. Half-remembered fragments
You
back
have
from
smooth
school 20 years ago.
success. Many women will play volleyball in your honor. Like
In your honor. Oh man, gotta love that English.
So good.
So during a tour recently of the Valve headquarters, some fan took a damn screenshot of one of their screens and apparently Left 4 Dead 3 and the new Source engine is pretty much confirmed now. I mean, accidentally announced, I guess.
You want to hear a cool fact too? That guy was there because he was in town for the International. Bada boom, full circle.
Isn't I mean, is anybody surprised that they're making a new Source engine?
Well, earlier this year, somebody leaked screenshots from inside of Valve's network that were never like officially confirmed or not of projects that they were working on, and some of those things were Left 4 Dead 3 and Source 2, and also Half-Life 3, which is really interesting because if these leaks or if these current leaks are accurate, they support those ones too, which means besides the Source 2 and Left 4 Dead 3, we could be seeing something involving Half-Life 3, within this decade.
What would fanboys say if Half-Life 3 ever came out? They would have nothing to complain about.
Well, I think they'd have a unanimous orgasm.
Yeah, no, but they'd have nothing to talk about anymore. They can't be like, come on, Valve, where's Half-Life 3? They're just, Half-Life 3's out.
Where's Half-Life 3 Episode 1?
Yeah, they're just going to sit there with their thumbs and just be like, well, what do we do now? My whole point of existence was to bitch
The
about
interesting thing, I think, is that if Half-Life 3 is getting released, I mean, Half-Life 2 set the bar so high that I can't even imagine how good Half-Life 3 could be.
That's probably why they're doing it. Look how long it took Blizzard to go back to StarCraft.
That's true.
They knew they had made something special and that it's going to be compared to what was previous. If they're going to make
and Half-Life 2 was in development for like 7 or 8 years, I believe.
It was long. Yeah.
It was a
Duke
while.
Nukem Forever was in development for.
Nobody likes Duke Nukem.
We all knew how that.
You
game
mean
was
the
gonna
game
be when it came
shit
out.
onto a disc? Like you opened it up and there were like flies crawling out of the case, just like what happened here?
I haven't been a fan of Duke Nukem since it left the 2-dimension, the second dimension, 2D.
I never even liked 3D that much, except for the fact that it was that kind of humor at that age where I thought that was hilarious.
Now
See, I just never got
it.
it. But like Duke Nukem 1 and 2, where it's like a side scroller like Mega Man, are fucking
Those
dope.
were good.
Yeah, those are some of the better
games.
DOS games I've ever played.
Oh, DOS games. We're going old school with it.
Yeah.
The
We're
oldest
gonna
of
talk
old
about,
school.
talk about some DOS games, the old school. Yeah.
Back in my day, video games.
Back with my floppy disks.
I used to have to type C / setup.exe.
You kids these days don't even know what a command prompt is.
Dude, well, I mean, you want to go back even further. Have you guys ever tried to fucking load a game on a Commodore 64?
No, and I never will, and fuck you for asking.
No, it was so hard to load anything on back in the day. It was just like 10 pages of gibberish you had to enter just to play fucking Wheel of Fortune.
You literally are writing the code for the game.
Yeah, they send you a manual, and it's just how to program the game. And once you enter that, you just hit enter, and then the game loads. And it's like, okay, thanks for the source code, assholes. Why don't you just compile that shit?
You have to. It's like a 20,000 character password.
Well, do you remember installing things on Windows 3.1? That was a bitch to do. I remember because there's no My Computer.
I've probably blocked that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of horrible nights I had to spend just drinking to get rid of my memories of 3.1.
Must black it out. Must black it out.
Nostalgia's great and all, but goddamn, things are so much better these days.
Yeah, man. Ever since, well, you know what? It was like when Windows XP came out and like drivers started to install themselves. Like, that's when computers started being a lot more okay with me. Like, I remember when you're like, you install Windows 95 and it takes you about a month to find the drivers for your fucking computer.
Oh yeah, I mean, because there was no decent source on the internet.
Well, half the companies that built computers went defunct after like a year.
Oh yeah, good luck getting any sort of tech support on anything.
My first computer was a CBSI computer with a 33 megahertz processor,
Blazingly fast, damn.
blazingly fast, 600 megabyte hard drive.
Next
Whatever,
level shit.
whatever you're being over there, Mr. Rockefeller.
I remember the computer. I installed an SVGA game and loaded it on it, and the computer stopped working forever.
No
Because
more. I'm done. You done goofed.
Yeah, it rage quit on me.
You're trying to play Burger Time? Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Dude, the worst thing was it was some shitty like Windows 3.1 game that came with an action figure I got based on the movie Independence Day.
Oh man, that
Oh,
sounds like a high
Oh my
quality
god,
stuff.
I fucking remember that. Was it the alien? Was it the alien figure?
Yeah, it was the alien
Oh my
head thing, and
God.
it had like the UFO that you could like destroy the city on the
Oh,
inside of it with.
Oh my god. What the fuck? I remember that.
It came with like a
That's-
blue floppy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh my god. I totally remember that. That's so funny.
That's ridiculous that anyone else could even remember that.
What an obscure thing to have memories of.
You want to get even more obscure? Did you guys ever play the Mega Man DOS version?
No.
Yes.
It was developed by what was it? High Tech Expressions,
Oh, God, I don't remember that much about it.
and they were the worst fucking game devs ever.
It was the worst thing I ever played.
They
Well,
made like
who did E.T.?
ET was done by just some fucking dude. Like it's just one guy.
Satan.
Satan, yeah. We call him Beelzebub.
Well, and they're undigging the pit down in New Mexico.
Why? This is everybody.
Mummies-
Everybody that
Ghosts
thinks
are
it's
just
going to
gonna
get
fly
cancer.
out, just ghosts and mummies. Like,
Everybody that thinks it's going to get cancer and die, and it's going to be explosive cancer. That's going to
Wait.
all turn into big tumors and fall in the pit.
It just becomes a national dumping ground for corpses.
still safer.
Dude, I gotta admit though, I would actually probably pay like, I don't know, $15-20 for one of those buried copies of ET.
My cousins had a copy of that game, and I remember being stuck over there one holiday, and I saw their Atari. I'm like, damn, they don't have an NES. That sucks. Well, I got to do something. So I was looking at the games. I'm like, oh, ET, let's try this.
Combat,
Whatever.
you gotta play Combat.
Put that in there. I was just sitting there. I'm like, what? What? I don't even understand it. Okay, this button makes my net go
And
up.
then you fall down through the hole. And
And there's a
that's all
button
that
that makes
ever
my net
happens.
go back down, and then I walk across the screen, and it's the same screen basically.
And you keep falling down through the hole, and then
And
you gotta get
nothing
out of the
happens.
hole, and then you go back to the other screen where you're a bit smaller, and you just keep
I-
walking around.
I think there was a dot once, and then I just turned that shit off and like stood in the corner for a while and reevaluated my life.
I am a child, and my life decisions so
Yeah.
far are fucking terrible. Like,
My first
I'm not
exi-
even drinking.
my first existential nightmare was brought upon by ET at age 7.
Damn,
could
they
be
didn't have
a
an NES by
tagline.
age 7. Good
I
God.
don't remember how old I was, but it was terrible.
Yeah, we fucking threw away that damn 2600 as soon as we got the NES. God, Atari fucking sucks.
Send it to hell.
Light that shit on fire.
I don't know how some of these retro nerds go back and play that shit, man. Like, for me, it's like 8-bit or nothing.
Massive quantities of self-loathing probably have something to do with it.
Sounds about right. I mean,
It's a deep masochistic streak.
like even Pac-Man on the Atari is just fucking terrible.
Oh god, which one? 'Cause they're all horrible.
The
Whenever
one
he
where
was-
it's all
whenever he was, like-
blue and yellow and like that
Where he's-
doesn't look like
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
he's purple and he's like oblong.
Yeah, dude. Oh god, man. 2600. No.
Moving on.
No,
This is
no,
gonna give me a
no,
headache.
No,
no.
you're having fucking flashbacks. Just no,
Yeah.
unplug
Yeah.
it, unplug it.
I remember what was
so-
it? Adventure or something like that. That was the one I liked. You were like,
with the
That was a
duck.
good game.
With the duck.
yeah.
Anyway, so Xbox One news.
Anybody who's never played that is just like, what the fuck?
Xbox One news, kind of news. It's very minor. They slightly upclocked the CPU by a little bit.
Well, I mean, they have so many vents on the top for cooling. I'm not that surprised, actually.
I mean, they might have just been underclocking it in general.
Just
be safe,
overclock
and now they're like,
Out
I think we can manage it. So
They need to get they need to get a
For all
console
the-
with water cooling one of these days.
for all the like 4 people who are going to buy an Xbox One. your CPU will be slightly faster and probably
Yay
completely
for all
unnoticeable.
7 of you!
Woo, we can start club.
More downvotes on your video, Jay.
Yes.
Fanboy fag!
I'm still gonna do that, dude. You'll see. One day it's gonna be like, what's this? A new comment on my World Beer video? Nice Xbox video, loser!
Yeah, you're definitely sticking your neck out nowadays defending the Xbox One.
Yeah. So what else did we have? There was something I'm completely drawing a blank on.
There's no Street Fighter V until 2018.
Oh, that is it. Yeah. Oh, I was trying to block that out already.
I don't want to think about it because it just makes me sad.
Yeah, Capcom basically said they're not going to be. They're probably not going to be looking at making a Street Fighter V anywhere before 2018.
That sucks.
So, I mean, Evo's going to be like 5 more years of Street Fighter 4. Don't get me wrong, I like Street Fighter 4, but man, that sucks.
Enough is enough.
Why did Capcom say they were doing it?
I think they're just working on other things.
The same reason they won't give us a fucking Mega Man game?
There is a newish, I don't know when they plan on having it come out or anything like that, but they've talked about a Street Fighter versus Capcom game. However, it will be like a card-based fighting game.
That sounds a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
I play Magic.
Like Pokemon cards?
I didn't like, I don't know. Yeah, like a card game. Like, I don't know how it's going to work. I have no clue because there's a lot of different ways you can implement a card-based system in games.
It'd be funny if it was just poker.
All I'm saying is the Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy was the shit. That's all I'm saying.
I usually don't like card games, so I'm just like, really? That's what you're going to do?
I think most of the card games that, like, because the Pokemon game is made by Wizards of the Coast, the same people that make Magic, and they're both really, really good.
Well, I mean, it may not be a card. It may. I mean, I don't mean it may not be like a Street Fighter based card game. It might be a Street Fighter game with like card game aspects.
Like Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, something like that.
I
mean, who knows? Who knows how it's going to work? It could be really interesting, or it could be completely freaking retarded.
Doesn't really pique my interest.
Yeah, and who knows? They're probably going to be trying to milk out some other, Street Fighter cross this or this cross Street Fighter crap for a while.
What if we could just get a Mega Man like X7 or 9? I don't know how high they got, but just a new Mega Man X. That's what I want.
I'm pretty sure they went to like 10 or 12 on the PS1 and 2, so...
They got fairly high with the Mega Man X series, but they basically started getting really bad as they got higher in number.
What was it? Mega Man X4 was my favorite because you could play. It was the one for the first one for the PS1. You could play as Zero, which I thought was pretty cool.
Fuck Zero.
What's your beef with Zero?
He's like.
What's your beef, bro?
He's like an anime pretty boy in a game about a robot dude that shoots people.
Dude, I always thought Zero's my homie.
He's got that long, flowing hair.
He has a sword.
Yeah, fuck that.
They went up to X8.
Oh.
Yes, that sounds right. Yes.
And that came out in 2005. So what's up, Capcom? Make some new fucking Mega Man.
They probably don't realize people want Mega Man. I mean, hell, Nintendo's completely oblivious about the popularity of Earthbound until recently.
American consumer does not buy a game unless it has violence.
Well, that's partially true. Earthbound has some violence. I actually saw a comic on Reddit that I thought was pretty good, and it was the start of Earthbound with Ness leaving and his mom being like, "Oh, go be safe, honey," and then she's just horrified because he's just beating animals with a baseball bat. It's just like a pile of dogs and birds, just like...
A bird flies. I just...
Well, then he beats up all the punks.
Think of how much heartbreak could have been saved in that game if Ness just walks out and smashes Pokey in the face with a bat. And then he just goes back to bed.
That's how the game starts, and then it's just like, oh, Geiger's
not
really a big deal.
Yep, Geiger's never happened.
Dude, yeah, Pokey's such a goddamn dick in that game.
He's so easy to hate. It's so fun to hate him, though.
And the funny thing is, too, is I have a feeling that, like, when Nintendo developed the game, he's supposed to be, like, a stereotypical American or something like that.
Who, Pokey, or...?
Pokey, yeah. Well, the whole game's supposed to be stereotypical 90s America, but I have a feeling that Pokey has a bit of a racist opinion behind it, possibly.
Oh, a Japanese company with a racist streak? I don't know. That seems pretty far fetched.
They are a clean and industrious people. So, yeah, I was saying to Donovan earlier, so my YouTube page is about to hit 100 subscribers, and I'm thinking about doing my first Let's Play.
Oh, boy.
It's a pretty good game, too. I'm in full support. I really think you should.
What game do you have in mind?
I'm going to be doing Earthbound.
Ooh.
What? I thought you said you were going to do Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
What?
That might be down.
Dude, that game is so good. Why don't you do that one?
That's for the GameCube, right?
The Nintendo doorstop?
I mean, there also is the possibility of Barbie Horse Adventure for the Game Boy. That's a very underrated game. You can brush
horses,
you
man.
can brush the ponies.
I might ride some horses. Yeah, get up on it.
That'd be good, yeah. Yeah, I think I like that.
You can brush them. You can name them.
Yeah, no, I'm just hoping that the people who actually like watch my YouTube page like enjoy Let's Plays, because if they don't, then I'm making a lot of videos they hate.
Yeah.
But
I
feel
like fuck the haters.
For me, I feel like I could try and do a review of Earthbound or like a retrospective on it, but there's so many people who have done better ones already that I don't even see the need to. And I don't think I could do the game justice with just like 30 minutes of time. Like I think I'm gonna need to actually take like literally every Let's Play to really have a full appreciation for the game.
You need some way to showcase every single track of music in that game because it was amazing.
Yeah, man. Well, just most RPG soundtracks in the 90s were really quite good.
The Chrono Trigger soundtrack?
Anything of the Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy.
The Robo theme that totally rips off fucking Never Gonna Give You Up.
That actually happened a lot, though. That was one of the more obvious ones, but there's tons of SNES games where the music was blatant rip-offs of popular songs at the time.
That's why it took so long for Earthbound to be released, is because so much of the music was just like, oh, that's totally ripped off from the Beatles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Which is partly why the game had such great music.
Yeah, well, and fucking Beatles Studios so fucking sue-happy, I'm sure they were a little bit afraid.
Probably.
If you even sample a Beatles song, you'll have fucking lawyers at your door within like 30 minutes. So, what's your guys' favorite color?
You're terrible at this. The last thing on the roster, Mr. I'm a Ride Out of Schedule, is
I just kind of wanted to see how long that would go.
We haven't even talked about Titan yet.
Oh yeah, they're saying Titan's supposed to be free to play.
Read your own list. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big announcement. A lot of people were saying that since it's Blizzard making a new MMO, Blizzard was just going to, squeeze the industry for every fucking penny they could and be like, nope, this one's subscription-based too, but it's worth it. We're Blizzard.
So is Titan expected to be a completely new IP then? Like it's not going to be based on any of their previous franchises whatsoever?
Yeah, I mean, what I've read so far, it's supposed to be a new IP.
And I'm wondering if Titan is a project name or it's like going to be based around like actual like Greek gods and titans and shit.
Who knows? I mean, everything about it just sounds so good. I mean, it all comes back to me still being really excited about WildStar, which you need to look up stuff for that game. Seriously. You'll lose your mind. But it's kind of weird to see MMOs that people are, like, excited about again. It's been a while. Like
It's a bit of a dead genre at this point.
When World of Warcraft
It's really stagnant.
Like, it was so huge and so popular, but it got bled so dry in just, like, the worst way possible. I mean, it became a bad stereotype of itself in a really serious way.
What is Titan supposed to be about? Like, I haven't heard much about it, to be honest.
That's what I was saying. I'm just imagining by the name it's about Titans and like Greek gods and stuff. I don't know.
I'm looking up some stuff about it now. It says the companies have actually revealed very little about it, so it's completely new and not based on any of their three main franchises.
That's kind of strange for Blizzard to do, because they usually just, I mean...
The development was rebooted back in May of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they're completely basically turned into a different game. So who knows what it's going to be like? I mean, I wonder if it's going to be a...
Lost Vikings sequel.
With...
Oh my god!
The Lost Vikings MMO.
Why haven't they touched that IP? It's so good! That game is so good!
The three Vikings are in WoW.
Yeah, I know that.
The Warcraft series is generally nothing but pop culture references, especially to their own games.
Oh, but Lost Vikings is so good and nobody's played it.
I love that. Are you kidding me? I love that game to death. I still remember some of the password codes.
Just like when you get to like lollipop bullshit land and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Fuck this whole world.
Why didn't they bring any lube? I'm not prepared for this.
Or the
like,
or the machine shop.
oh my god, but the game's so good. I just love playing that game. I have a Game Boy Advance cartridge of it, and it's just so much fun to play. It's so good.
Me
I
and my
wonder how
roommate,
much that game is worth nowadays.
well, me and my roommate actually started playing through it a couple months ago, and got to some of the more difficult parts. And he sucks at puzzle games, so.
Well, that game's cool because it's like a puzzle adventure game with zero forgiveness.
Yeah.
Favorite part of that game, when you die enough times, Thor comes down, or starts talking to you, and starts berating you for being useless and crappy.
Oh man.
Did you guys ever play the Rocco's Modern Life game for the SNES?
Negative.
No.
It's actually really similar to the Lost Vikings, like in terms of
Really?
gameplay. Yeah, it's almost like a rip off of it.
I want to play that now. What's the team? Who do you play as?
You play as Rocco, and basically you go through the level like moving things around, trying to get like, and Spunky just kind of like walks. Did you ever play? You know that Earthworm Jim level where you have to like protect, like if your dog gets hit, he like kicks the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Peter Puppy.
It's kind of like that meets Lost Vikings.
Huh. I feel like I would
Interesting.
play that. I really want to find a cartridge of that. That sounds like it'd be kind of fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was graphically it was good. I remember it being fucking just hard as shit though.
I could see it. A lot of those licensed games ended up being pretty difficult because they were
Yeah,
either
they were-
fucking terrible or they were just hard. I
Yeah,
mean, like the
really
Lion
difficult
King.
Programming.
The Lion King's a good
You
game,
can't
but
even beat the second level.
but that's a test and driving spikes through your hands.
Well, did you ever play any of the LJN license games?
Mm-mm.
They are the worst games ever made, without a doubt. Like they did the Back to the Future game for the NES, which is fucking horrible.
Oh, I think I did play that one. That was a steaming pile of garbage crammed into a plastic cartridge.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, it had that top-down view, and you just kind of walk down the street, and like everything in the entire world's trying to kill you.
It almost reminded me of Paperboy and the fact that everything is lethal and once you're dead.
It is similar to
man,
Paperboy, yeah.
Paperboy's hilarious, though. They're like, well, what life-threatening, dangerous encounters do Paperboys encounter on a daily basis? Mummies,
love Paperboy.
Traffic, Satan,
fire jugglers.
the Grim Reaper,
Yeah.
complete with scythe.
Gargoyle statues that spit fire.
I mean, I guess paper routes in Japan are just
Psychopaths
way
with
harder.
knives.
Yeah, Paperboy 2 is it was one of the earliest Super Nintendo games, but honestly, I think I'm actually honestly surprised they haven't really continued with that series because that was a real staple back in the day. Paperboy for the NES, Paperboy 2 for the Super Nintendo. They did come out with an N64 one that's fucking terrible,
That's
and then the
probably
series
why.
died.
That's probably that's usually how that.
And it's gone.
They have a
Same
couple
thing
great
happened with
titles.
Earthworm Jim, unfortunately. They came out with a 3D Earthworm Jim for the N64, and then the series died.
Yeah, that game was bad.
I don't
There's some
know,
games
it
that
was
just should
really
not
bad.
be in 3D.
When I think of terrible N64 games, I think of Superman.
That's probably the worst on the entire system.
That kind of goes without saying, yeah. But yeah, that game.
I mean, why are you
that's
flying
considered
through
one of the worst
rings?
games. That is considered one of the worst games ever made, depending on who you ask.
Is that everybody? Is that the person you have to ask?
It definitely probably ranks within top 10, if not top 5.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say that Superman is probably the worst title on the N64.
I would agree with that. Nothing comes to mind. I'm trying to think of something worse.
Wave Race 64 was pretty bad.
I kind of liked Wave Race 64.
But you couldn't actually control anything, and like the clip plane was like 5 feet ahead of you.
Oh, here comes Jay
I think
bitching about controls again.
Just because
I mean, you really can't control it in Wave Race. Like you
Well,
do a turn and like your ass flies out for like a week.
Well, I mean, you also kind of have a disadvantage because obviously you don't actually have fingers. You just have 2 giant stumps for hands. Completely immobile.
Nerd.
Game is hard to control.
Yeah, I actually play all my games just by smashing a controller against a table.
He has a custom made keyboard for his computer where all the keys are like the size of those like your grandmother's telephone, which have the enormous buttons. Like every single key is that big, and
My keyboard is my desk.
he just hammers it.
See, in my head, I just picture a rotary keyboard, just like a rotary phone that's just the dials like this big, just like each letter.
Fuck that Z key! Holy crap!
That's how I play Mario 64. That's why I'm so bad at the portable games. They don't make buttons big enough for my large manly stumps.
these two clubs I call my hands.
I could do nothing with these.
Titan, however, did remind me of something. Titanfall. Or no, Firefall. Titanfall, something completely different. Firefall.
Oh, I was like, Titanfall, I'm not interested.
No.
I'm pulling out.
I guess that's how it reminded me. It reminded me of Titanfall, which reminded me of Firefall, which is a free-to-play sort of MMO shooter type thing. It's going to be coming out soon.
Like
the
Planet
beta,
Side, or?
It's in beta. It's third person.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to describe. Visually, it kind of strikes me a little similar to Borderlands. Meets like Gears of War.
Defiance burned me, so I am suspicious.
It's I'm just saying visually speaking. It's basically you're like on an alien planet and you have these big like jump packs and guns and it's like an MMO based around mechanics like that. The gameplay videos I saw back way back even before it was beta. I saw some gameplay videos. It looks really interesting. And it's in beta right now. I think it's still closed beta. It might be open beta now, or at least very soon.
I want an MMO that takes place in the present day, like Earthbound, but isn't Second Life.
Dude, that's not even funny. Have you ever?
How does Second Life remind you of present day?
No, seriously. Have you ever been to Second Life?
It's the internet subconscious.
I think I played it for like 10 minutes just to see what it was, and it was.
How many flying furry dongs did you see?
Because everyone
was a furry.
There are few things in the world I find as terrifying as Second Life.
People that use it.
That's really a peek into the internet subconscious, and that's something no mortal man wants to see.
It is a bad place to be.
If you stare at the
deeper
abyss,
than 4chan.
I didn't bring my hazmat suit.
Gaze into the abyss long enough, and it will gaze back into you. Don't blink. Never blink.
It stares into your soul.
Simply looking at it corrupts you.
You can feel it just watching you.
You just look at it, you just feel this dark stain on your soul start spreading. Second Life.
Sounds like the symbiote suit.
I think we should do the next podcast all playing Second Life together.
It's like the symbiote suit, except you don't get superpowers. It just like gives you a stress tumor.
It gives you AIDS.
I have a Second Life dude. He kind of looks like a troll, and all he does is fly around and literally shit blood. It's great. That's literally all I do with him. That's not a joke. I find some markets where some people are hanging out having cyber sex, dressed as dragons or on a beach or whatever, like you do in Second Life, and then this weird deformed dwarf just starts flying around overhead while shitting blood. And that is literally all I've ever done in Second Life.
Oh my God.
When you say shitting blood, is that like one of those building fire sprinkler systems?
No,
it just goes
it
everywhere.
was. In Second Life, you can publish your own mods and things like that. And I found one that makes blood come out, just like generates blood. And so I pinned it to his anus.
He just has the worst hemorrhoids ever.
Well, I figured if I needed to fit into Second Life, that was probably the best way to go about it.
It's a solid icebreaker. Starts a conversation.
The hell is that thing? Just like
everybody.
Nobody feels comfortable around it. It's just like it's terrible.
You used to play it. I think I've gone too far.
Yeah, dude.
Now.
I cannot say so many negative things about Second Life. Like one of the people who showed it to me had a costume set for something called a cockabo, which is a chocobo with like I don't know, 7-8 foot dong on it.
What?
Like like the size of its body, and like it would flop around and it would hop around on its testicles, and the music from the South Park thing would play, from the medicinal marijuana episode.
So it's like a tanuki. It bounces around on its giant balls.
Yeah, except a chocobo with a giant dong attached to. My Second Life experience was very interesting, and I don't think I'm going back.
I think we should let's play it. I think we should let's play it, Donovan.
This might just point out just how broken I am as a person. My main problem with that is birds don't have external like testicles like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they have internal genitalia.
Why? No,
That bothers me more.
I'm not gonna ask why you know about bird junk. I'm sure there's some totally reasonable explanation for why you know about bird junk, and I will let you keep that
Tell me
information.
about snake penises.
Have you ever seen like a group of swans or geese flying overhead and just see a bunch of balls flapping in the wind? No, you haven't. There's a reason for that.
What about ostriches?
They're not all girl geese.
What about ostriches?
I'm pretty sure every bird, there's no bird with external genitalia.
So
And
birds evolved from like fucking dragons and dinosaurs, right?
No,
So
I'm gonna try to wrangle this shit in before this gets way too out of control.
I told you I'm a broken person, and that's why it's funny that's what bothers me most about that. Not the fact that it has a giant 8-foot swinging dong.
But yes, Second Life, two thumbs down. Like, there's some cool communities on there. I'm not saying there aren't, but I'm saying generally it's a cesspool.
Well, it's Second Life. You get out of it what you put in, and it's just that most people have put in furries. And,
they're dicks. That's what
dicks.
Most people have put into it.
Yeah, just dicks and creepy things.
It reminds me of chat roulette. You know, yeah, there's the chance you're going to talk to somebody who wants to talk, but it's going to be a penis. Is what's going to happen.
Some dude jerking it.
You gotta wade through the forest of dicks.
That's some dude jerking it. Like,
next.
That's
welcome
some
to the
smiley
internet.
face drawn on it.
That's a sad text.
No good. The internet's a dark place.
Next. Oh, even your dick doesn't seem to be into it. Next.
Yeah.
We got it. We went to a dark
that
place.
was a little tangenty.
That's what happens when you bring up Second Life, though. That's Second Life.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
I could need to take a minute on that one.
Just
just breathe it in.
We could bring it in.
Going through the head, just like, oh no, we're all just shaking, just like, oh, that's the end of it, no more.
Yeah, I think the next podcast we should just all hop on Second Life and just troll some room.
And just fuck it.
Just troll the shit out of it.
And just go for gold.
I think I'd have to be really, really drunk.
If we're gonna troll something, we should troll Club Penguin.
What's
Club Penguin's is the place to be.
What's Club Penguin?
Club.
Oh my god.
Club Penguin, I believe, is a Disney-owned virtual chat room where people make avatars of penguins and hang out doing penguin-like things and talking about what are not necessarily penguin-oriented topics.
I'll give you a hint about this thing's demographic, because I actually have a friend whose nieces, who when they were like 7 to 9 years old, liked this thing. And that, from what I can tell, there's two major demographics for this thing. You know, 6 to 10-year-old girls.
Kids and pedophiles.
Yeah, 6 to 10-year-old girls and just disgusting, creepy internet nerds completely making a mockery of it by being.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's almost like, it's actually, if you think about it, it's almost like the same demographic as My Little Pony.
Hey now.
Yeah,
I enjoy the show.
I
think the writing's good and enjoy the animation, though admittingly haven't watched anything past season 2. But, you know.
Isn't that thing basically just done in glorified Flash?
Yeah, but it's all the same people that worked on like Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack. Great shows like that.
I do like Lauren Faust. She actually does do good work. I also like the fact she puts a Big Lebowski reference in everything she does.
Yep, and there are Big Lebowski references in My Little Pony.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Brony Chat.
Hey, I was just
This is
making
the
a corollary.
Brony Power Hour?
I was just making a corollary between the two demographics. Apparently, if you want to learn what markets to 20-something adult males, look at what markets to 6 to 10-year-old girls. Same shit.
Oh my god.
Make everything pink and sparkly.
I know all I'm interested in is which Sweet 16 dress I'm getting.
The Beaver Fever.
I don't want to have what that other girl's had.
I think I'm going for yellow.
I want my dress to be unique.
It's no good. No good at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, due to
No,
multiple
put
technical...
the fucking dog down.
Now I'm doing it with the dog.
No, eat a dick. We're not doing this with the animals. If you're doing it with your huge dog, I'm getting my huge cat.
Go get
Then
your
go
cat.
get your huge cat.
Go get your cat. Josh, go
No.
get your cat.
I don't want to go get my cat. They've been
It's
leaving
gonna
me alone today.
It's gonna be fucking ridiculous because we're all gonna have animals.
Part of me actually wants to do this.
Just put your fucking dog down. God damn it.
Oh my god.
The dog shall stay. Actually, I'm just gonna have him talking instead of me. Look at the camera.
What does this offer our two fans?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Zock Gaming Podcast. Feel free to email us at the zockgamingpodcast@gmail.com.
We're half in the Blair Witch Project and half in the Kennel Club now.
I can't even handle this anymore. It's so dumb. It's hurting my dick.
Oh
This
man,
is all
what a
going
fucking
in.
train wreck!
Oh my god.
All right, let's try this. Let me readjust my camera real quick. All right. Peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Ladies and gentlemen, due to technical difficulties, unfortunately, this week's episode is going to be cut short due to Missouri's shitty fucking internet.
That's
I'll
all she
ruin
wrote.
you like I've ruined my internet.
Unfortunately, they communicate by they write down what they need on the internet, they give it to a dude, and then usually it just ends up being used as toilet paper. This is the case for this evening.
We still have the Pony Express.
Oh, you got that now. Good, nice, nice. You got
We
the
got it
horses
last week.
and the written letters and whatnot. Maybe they'll invite the type machine eventually. And anyways, if you want to reach us, and we want you to reach us, you can email us at.
We want you to reach out to
Please,
us so
please.
bad.
We want you to reach around to us. Heyo.
Hey, dick pics.
Send the dick pics to zockgamingpodcast@gmail.com, and you can always see our videos uploaded on YouTube. Feel free to like, subscribe, or whatever you want to do. And also, down below, there's going to be the MP3 version, but odds are you probably already downloaded it if you made it this far in the podcast.
Yep.
Go
there's
figure.
a chance. Yep. Who would have thought?
Right on, guys. So this has been me, Jay Dubious, hosting this evening with my buddies Donovan from No Clip Gaming
See you next time, guys.
and some hillbilly from Missouri.
Thanks for watching our clusterfuck.
Yeah, hopefully after I edit this isn't as much of a shit fest as it is looking like it's
Yeah,
going to be.
let me tell you guys right now, since it's the end of the episode, this what is an hour and 10-minute episode has been like a near 3-hour fucking process to get recorded. So
This is what we
It's
do.
not a
This is what we
process,
do for our fans.
This is
Yeah,
not a
this-
process. This was an ordeal. This is a trial. We're being tested.
This wasn't an episode, it was a conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Zock, episode 7, I think, or maybe 8. Anyways, signing out. Have a good one, guys.
Cut it. Just cut it.
Cut it out.
awesome, done. I'm gonna go.